Hello, friends. It's Phil Grant with Baird Warner and Crystal Lake, welcoming you to another edition of the Real Estate Minute. This is, of course, where we talk about all things real estate, buying, selling, leasing, commercial or residential, really in the hopes of helping you to make a better, more informed decision when real estate matters come up in your world. As always, we hope that this nice May day finds you and your loved ones safe and healthy and well. Today, I thought we'd take a minute and talk about a transaction normally found in the commercial world, and that is a sale and a leaseback. What is a sale and a leaseback? Pretty much what it says. We have an entity that owns a particular piece of property. They have decided that now is the time to reap the equity that they've got in that building by selling it, but they want to maintain possession, and so we'll do a sale and leaseback. Now, there are some pros and cons for both parties involved here. Thought today we'd take a minute and look at the upside for both sides, and then next week we'll take a look at some things that you might want to be careful of. So one of the upsides for the seller is obviously by selling the property, they are going to be able to remove any debt that is on that property. Hopefully they're in a good equity position. And so they're going to be able to remove any debt for that. And obviously the seller's debt to equity ratio is obviously going to be reduced substantially. And the beauty of this, again, is that the seller is able to find a good time, for them to make this move, sell the property, instead of waiting until they no longer need it. So here they can sell it and still maintain possession of the property. And that's another benefit, obviously, is that, say the seller has been running their business out of there, and they are going to be able to continue to run their business out of there because through the lease mechanism, they will have possession, again, of either some of that property or all of that property, which is all negotiated in the lease. Could be certain tax advantages involved too. Again, I'm not a tax guy, but just my understanding is say the seller had held onto that property. If that property was 100% depreciated, then they would not be able to take advantage of any tax deductions for that particular part of the puzzle. However, by leasing the property, more than likely those lease payments are going to provide the person selling it, the new tenant, certain tax advantages there as well. So those are just three or four things that are on the plus side for the seller. If we look at the buyer is going to be able, again, through the lease instrument, going to be able to really specify a return on investment, an ROI, that they want to get out of their new investment. So that is a good thing. The main risk, again, really is the validity, the viability of the person selling that is going to be the new tenant. Again, these transactions generally take a little bit of time, allowing both sides to get to know each other pretty well. So that's an important thing to keep in mind as well. Another plus on the buyer side for this, normally speaking, these leases are set up as triple net leases. What does that mean? That simply means that the seller or the new tenant is going to pay a base amount of rent, then they're going to pay taxes, maintenance, and insurance on either the portion that they use or the whole piece if they're leasing back the whole piece. So that is another good thing as far as the buyer is concerned. Another advantage for the buyer is really it's a hedge against market swings. For example, if we put this lease together and let's say the seller is paying 10 grand a month plus tax, maintenance and insurance, and let's say that the lease market in that particular area starts to trend downward, the buyer of the property, the new landlord, obviously has the comfort of knowing that they are locked into that lease number for a certain period of time. So that is a very good thing. Obviously, we would hope that over time that property is going to appreciate in value, which again is going to be another benefit for the buyer of the property. Finally, there could be tax implications for the person coming in and buying the property. They obviously can utilize depreciation to whatever extent they can, and if there are any investment tax credits that they can utilize as well. This is really going to help offset the gains that the buyer of the property is going to realize from the rental income that they get. So again, quick look at some of the plus sides of the ledger for both the seller of the property and the buyer of the property when we do a sale and leaseback. We thank you for taking the time to watch. Hopefully it was informative. Join me again next week when we'll look at some of the things that in a sale leaseback situation both sides have to be very aware of. So again, thanks for taking a minute to watch. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.